morning, dear friends. Sunday, the 10th of July. Welcome to this online service from Logikirk. We're looking at the book of Ruth. It's a small four-chapter story, almost tucked in away somewhere in the Old Testament. And yet somehow I believe it's a farewell, well-known story too. It's a very humane story. But before I speak more about it, let us listen to Stuart Miller doing the reading for us. Thank you so much, Stuart.
Today's reading comes from Ruth 3. Ruth finds a husband. Some time later, Naomi said to Ruth, "I must find a husband for you, so that you will have a home of your own. Remember that this man Boaz, whose women you have been working with, is our relative. Now listen, this evening he will be threshing the barley. So wash yourself, put on some perfume, and get dressed in your best clothes. Then go to where he is threshing, but don't let him know you are there until he has finished eating and drinking. Be sure to notice where he lies down, and after he falls asleep, go and lift the covers and lie down at his feet. He will tell you what to do." Ruth answered, "I will do everything you say." So Ruth went to the threshing place and did just what her mother-in-law had told her. When Boaz had finished eating and drinking, he was in a good mood. He went to the pile of barley and lay down to sleep. Ruth slipped over quietly, lifted the covers and lay down at his feet. During the night, he woke up suddenly, turned over, and was surprised to find a woman lying at his feet. "Who are you?" he asked. "It's Ruth, sir," she answered. "Because you are a close relative, you are responsible for taking care of me, so please marry me." "The Lord bless you," he said. "You are showing even greater family loyalty in what you are doing now than in what you did for your mother-in-law. You might have gone looking for a young man, either rich or poor, but you didn't. Now don't worry, Ruth. I will do everything you ask. As everyone in town knows, you are a fine woman. It is true that I am a close relative and I am responsible for you, but there is a man who is a closer relative than I am. Stay here the rest of the night, and in the morning we will find out whether or not he will take responsibility for you. If so, well and good. If not, then I swear by the living Lord that I will take the responsibility. Now lie down and stay here till morning." So she lay there at his feet, but she got up before it was light enough for her to be seen, because Boaz did not want anyone to know that she had been there. Boaz said to her, "Take off your cloak and spread it out here." She did, and he poured out nearly 20 kilos of barley and helped her to lift it on her shoulder. She then returned to town with it. When she arrived home, her mother-in-law asked, "How did you get on, my daughter?" Ruth told her everything that Boaz had done for her. She added, "He told me I must not come back to you empty-handed, so he gave me all this barley." Naomi said to her, "Now be patient, Ruth, until you see how this all turns out. Boaz will not rest today until he settles the matter."
Thank you, Stuart. The story of Ruth is so humane, it's so down to earth. And this chapter makes me think of the song from Fiddler on the Roof, "Matchmaker, matchmaker, make me a match." This is what Naomi does. She says, "Listen, Ruth, we have to we have to find you a husband. And that's what she does. Makes a very cunning plan. It's almost a humorous story to be so upfront about it. But dear friends, if we look at the whole of this chapter, it's not only Naomi being the matchmaker, but Ruth as well. Because she does what her mother-in-law says, and she goes down to the threshing floor, and there she does what her mother-in-law tells her to do. And then they have Boaz and Ruth have this beautiful conversation. Now Ruth returns to Naomi with 20 kilograms of grain, and Naomi, the chapter ends by Naomi saying, we can trust Boaz. He is an honorable man. All of them are matchmakers. They all play their part in a much bigger story. They all live relationships that's building towards something. They might not exactly know what, they have a plan, but they don't know what, because behind the scenes there is someone else at play. The God, almost the unnamed, is present. There are no miracles, there's no spiritual highlights, and yet it's this beautiful story that's unfolding. Why? Because they all play a very beautiful part. It's about relationships. And that's what the gospel is all about. That's what Jesus did. Jesus was the matchmaker, bringing God and people together in the most beautiful and profound way. His stories was about people coming together. Think about when he was judged and he told the story about the prodigal son. So we're all called to be matchmakers, to be builders of the kingdom in all our relationships. Every single one that we meet is someone who is sent on our path by God. Who do we know what role they will play? How do we know what role they will play? How do we know what our role might be in their lives? So today, this very beautiful story comes to us saying, who are you? Christian life is about growing an awareness of who we are and how we live. It's possible to never ever have the insight, and it's not being sort of over involved with yourself, fixated on your own ego and your being, but having insight in who we are as Christ had, in who he was, and how he wanted his disciples to be. That's the story. And my prayer is that God will bless all of us as we play our role in this world to be God's matchmakers. May God bless you. Amen.